And hello, gamers, fans, and Runeterra Academy supporters. Senior class now is in session. Glad to see you all back for another Monday. My name is Proof of Proofcast, and I am honored to be here as always. But today is even more special as we are in the fifth and final week for groups.
Yep.
Seniors have to give it all in order to make it all the way to the playoffs. Before diving into that, let me do the honor and at least help me welcome our co-caster and someone I have had the pleasure of working with and following this journey together. He was there when the wooden wheel was first invented. He also can tell you about printers, as he was Gutenberg's personal assistant,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
inventing the first ever press printer. Some people think that he was also Shakespeare's ghostwriter, but I think he's just as old as time. So don't let the camera fool you. The man, the myth, the legend, Miles David. How are we feeling today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm feeling old now that you mention all that. That's what I'm
Well,
feeling.
it's all good though, man. Because last time you did say you're a boomer, so I'm just like, okay,
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
you've
Fair
seen it all.
enough.
You've seen it
I
all.
I'm pretty much a
How,
boomer already at this point. At my age in esports, goddamn.
How does it feel? How does it feel like to be the oldest person in the world and casting with the
Mm,
youngest person in the world?
that's a good question. I feel like I want to give more of the space to you because it's the younger generation that needs to take over it.
Oh, Miles, so it's always a pleasure. But for today though, let's talk a little bit about the games going into it.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
a lot of stuff that
Definitely.
happened
hmm
over the new patch that got released. What do we think about that first and foremost? And what kind of champions are going to expect going into it?
Well, we're gonna expect definitely teams to start changing it up a bit. Probably not just yet since it did just drop, but definitely teams are gonna be experimenting. Teams are going to be looking at ways to get one up on their opponents, right? Because if you're able to get to the new tech before the your opponent does, that's some easy game wins for you and will allow you to place higher in the standings. So we'll see whether Akuma or E7S does have any secret sauce up their sleeves.
Yeah, secret sauce up their sleeve. Okay, all right, all right. You're using some Zoomer terms there, Miles. We'll
I'm
see.
trying. I'm trying. This boomer's trying. Give me a break.
Oh man. Well, it's speaking of breaks, there's no breaks here for because both teams need to win this one, right? It's
Yeah.
that type of time of the week, time of that time in the groups at least, right? Where both teams cannot be on the back seat. It's do or die here for them. It's kind of like also this game signifies who's gonna differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack, right?
Yeah. They're
For
both teams are 2-2. I'll just put it
yeah,
that way. Both teams
both
are
teams
two
have
and two.
50% win rate.
Yeah, so whoever wins this one manages to get the third place up in the standings for Group One. That'll be important when it comes to seeding in the playoffs. Definitely want to get as high as you can, or to get a better matchup for yourself in order to get farther up there. Give yourselves an easier time. So everything on the line here, and especially since these two, they're already neck on neck. So I'm expecting some banger games. Hopefully we can get to a game three finally. Prove.
Maybe. Yeah, we might get a game 3 here. That would be awesome, right, to see. And then we might go on overdrive, just signifying how the playoffs will go. I mean, both these teams have what it takes to make that extra run, make that extra mile. For a lot of the people who are watching, they probably have seen a lot of Akuma, right? That we haven't seen on stream at all, E7 Seraphs. So it's going to be their debut on stream. And hopefully, maybe luck is on their side, right? Because it's the first time we're watching them. Obviously, we could only do so much looking into the team and looking at what they play. I'm not really too sure if Tanimo here as a top laner has a master rank on TFT or that's just how he rolls. But we got a couple of master players here in the server, in the lobby. Um, and as far as the solo lanes are concerned, I think it's going to
Hmm.
be something to watch out for here.
Yep.
Gwen might not be picked by Mist, Hex Mist, who
Yeah, he's
dropped the
really good on
Quadra
it.
on Valentine's Day. Yeah, dropped
Yep,
that
yep. I
Quadra.
remember that. I remember that definitely. Then his opponent dropped the quadrant in the next game, but then they still lost.
Oh man, yeah, it's been really fun. It's been really fun. So
Yeah.
let's go into like draft mode a little bit here, Miles. Like seeing
Looks like
both
I
these
mean,
teams.
it looks like E7S are just trying to ban the top picks of Akuma right now. LeBlanc getting taken out of Luke's hands, and he's shown to be extremely good on that pick as well. So We'll see what they do. Jinx being banned away, he's more of a meta champ right now. But Akuma, they're happy to pick the Karma for X Fluke, who has been performing exceptionally on it. And he has performed exceptionally on it in the past. And it looks like Akuma showing their hand a bit shows that this could still go pivot to support, but I doubt it because Ratchet is playing. I definitely expect this to go into X Fluke's hands.
Xbook has a couple of options here, right? The Karma B1 pick for Akuma, though, I feel like that is just signifying that a Jhin might be picked here. But E7, they go with the Renata first pick on the red side, as well as the Zeri
Oh
here in the
my
bot lane.
God.
I wasn't expecting this at all. When I was doing research, the Meowing Cat was a support. They play a lot of Maokai, they play out of Sona Lulu with a lot of enchanters here. But the Renata, something different.
I think they're hoping to put Akuma off guard by picking the new champion at least. I mean, when picking a new champion, you definitely don't have much practice with it, but your opponent doesn't have much practice with it either, right? So I definitely want to see how this turns out. But this really indicates to me that Meowing Cat is very confident in their skill to be able to adapt, right? To be able to just adapt quickly
Yep.
to a new champion, adapt quickly to a new kit, and be extremely effective on it. And I have yet to really see too much Renata gameplay, to be honest, but based on her kit, I mean, you should be seeing a lot of action.
Yeah, based on our kit, based on everything happening online on Instagram, like everywhere that you look, there's uploads of Renata plays, and it's becoming a little redundant here and there. But the Veigar, something to watch out for here. Still could be flexed towards that bot lane, and Zeri could take that top lane because we have seen Young Jae play the Veigar bot lane. So that is not out of question yet. As we're seeing the final round of bans coming through. The Kiana is going to be out of the table, out of the window, I should say. All right. The Tristana here also could be that solo laner, right? Because that
It could be.
it could be. So this is kind of flex champs on the side of Akuma, because the Karma as well here is definitely that solo lane. Because guess what? Nautilus is going to be with Tristana, so that is going to be off the table for them. But Nanar targeting Tanimo.
Yeah.
Here in the top side, he did have good games on the Nar.
And Nar can be extremely useful, especially in the team comp that it looks like E7S are deciding to pull for themselves right now. It's very skirmish heavy, very team fight heavy. So Nar would be an extremely good champion for that. Rek'Sai getting taken out as well. That's a lot more interesting. Usually you wouldn't see that that type of ban just thrown out. So I think that's just a respect ban. Yeah, it's just a respect ban for Ham.
He has been the most consistent performer on the side of E7S, in my opinion, right? His RA roll rate also signifies that as well. I think he is possibly the best player so far in the group stages, at least for E7S. So Rek'Sai taking that out of off the table as well is really good for them. He's going to force him to be on this Hecarim, which again, he also performs on this Hecarim. His just Rek'Sai is a tad bit scarier. And the Gnar ban here, I think I would have loved seeing the Cho'Gath ban, because Tanima only played like, I think, one Gnar game and like 4 Cho'Gath games. And he has probably like a 90% win around the Cho'Gath.
Might be a scrim thing. Probably James knows how to be able to deal with the Cho'Gath more, especially if they send the Tristana towards top lane, which they still could do. And Sylas would be a good preemptive counter towards the Cho'Gath pick if they decide to go for it, because steals the feast, even Sylas starts growing as well.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch out for, because I wouldn't be surprised if Tanimo picked the Cho'Gath here. I think it's one of their best champions. They want to play some tanky champion, especially in this team comp. They have a good balance between some fighting in their arsenal, but also they need to be able to absorb the damage coming out from Akuma, at least for now. So they're gonna be it's gonna be the Cho'Gath here, locked and loaded. I wouldn't be surprised if it was gonna be the Ornn as well. It's really along the lines of, okay, you're gonna be getting big. You're going to be the heavy hitter, heavyweight champion here in the late game. But Sylas, like you said, is really good into E7S comp.
That's true. I think Ornn, though, has fallen favor from a lot of people in high elo just because of how hard the nerfs have hit him before. Because, at this point, I think Riot was sick of seeing Ornn all the time. So they just absolutely nerfed him to the ground at this point. And a lot of tanks you would rather have in their place, like the Sion. If you need AP, Cho'Gath is a very good option as well, who can scale extremely well into the late game. So I feel like there are just other tanks that do the job of Ornn, except a bit better right now when it comes to surviving in those team fights. And also at this point, a lot of pros just know how to deal with Ornn already. Are a lot of high elo players rather forgot we're not talking about the pro game. I mean, we might as well be. These are some of the best players in NA after all.
Yeah, we got some. Well, if we look at top to bot here, Miles, and you've been probably seen a lot of games because, like I said, you were there when the first wheel was invented. So, walk me through Cho'Gath here into the Silas, like macro wise. Like who has the prio here? What jungler should focus on, especially when
Mm,
Hecarim is involved here, because he is that snowball factor, right? Once he
yeah.
starts getting kills, it's kind of hard to stop this train wreck at that point. Xin Zhao is also capable of doing that, but I feel, in my opinion, and watching a lot of games with Hecarim is just like guaranteed that you're gonna cause havoc, especially at that level 6 and team fights, especially as well.
That's definitely true. Something that Akuma have to watch out for are the flanks coming in from the Hecarim, and Ham of all people. Definitely he knows how to do that. I've seen him do it plenty of times in the past. Well, and surely Akuma will be aware. But they also have a lot of ways to get away from Hecarim from getting flanked, right? They have Karma for the speed ups to make sure that they're very hard to catch. Nautilus can of course hook away. Tristana has her jump. Xin Zhao kind of wants to be caught in a way to make sure he can isolate targets for his team and peel them away. And Silas also has a way to dash out of any problem. So definitely, while E7S have a lot of tools to be able to catch Akuma, Akuma have a lot of escape and tricks up their sleeves as well.
Yeah, what would be their trick? They got a lot of good engage. They have good disengage. Tristana is one of the good champions here in this patch as well. I feel like if we have to compare like all-time best ADCs, in my opinion, especially like in this season so far, one of the champions in my mind is Tristana. Like, yeah, we don't see it a lot in 5v5s, but when I do, especially personally, I just always like see how good it is being used. Jin has been the #1 pick for a lot of teams. Like, yeah, but Jin's greatest weakness is his low mobility, right? Which is pain in the neck in the current meta. With hyper carries being so popular, enemy teams can often like eliminate you in the blink of an eye. So Zeri, I think now is in the
One of
front
those
runner
picks,
for me.
definitely.
Yeah. So, and Tristana, I feel like it's up there. When playing the Spark of Zon, positioning and timing are key, or playing against it, right? So, like, a lot of teams can avoid this Zeri carry disaster when they position themselves correctly. And I feel like Tristana can do that. Their entire team is able to do that. So, Kuma, like you said, they might have some tricks up their sleeve.
They definitely. I mean, Akuma is known to be a very tricky team to play against, especially when they start snowballing, when they start getting ahead. Can be known to just take over the game at that point. So I'd like to see what E7S can do. I actually like the Veigar response onto the Karma because it allows him kind of a free lane to be able to snowball in. What he has to look out for though is Nautilus and Xin Zhao coming to ruin his day. So has to be a bit careful, lose to improve if he's going to be able to survive into the late game. But if he does, he'll be an absolute monster and it'll be hard to catch him. One, and it will be easy for him to catch the others just because of the event horizon when it comes to those big team fights, when it starts mattering a lot more who is going to come in through the choke points, right? Who is able to get position on the map first.
Yeah, who's going to get that positioning first? The CC coming through with the event horizon, you make that kind of unavoidable sometimes on Veigar if you do land those on targets that you absolutely need, like the Karma. If he doesn't react on time with the movement speed to get away from the event horizon, it's going to be spelling disaster for Akuma Blades there. So I would have to say E7 Seraphs have that kind of catch comp and the dive comp they need, especially with the Hecarim and the Veigar, to be able to set up for nice and easy pickups when they do choose to like just press R to win. And then Renata Glask, obviously. So with that said, just to recap everything here, as teams are taking their positions in the lobby, they're just waiting for their junglers on the side of Akuma Blades. He will join us shortly here. But for those who are watching from the sidelines, this is your opportunity to predict with your channel points. And I already do see favorites to win seems to be so far to be E7 Seraphs. So I'm not surprised about that because their team comp is just generally better throughout different stages of the game. And I think the Veigar here is a great addition to that. Not a lot of people are brave enough to play it.
Yeah, it's a very scary team comp. I have to agree with that. And Akuma, a bit more of a traditional team comp that they have, right? With kind of sacrificing mid lane to get the side lanes ahead. We'll see how that's able to go. They don't really have a split pusher besides Tristana, who can get away, but if she's able to start doing damage to a lot of to the turrets, then that could snowball out of control as well. So E7 Seraphs, they have 2 Weather the Storm against Akuma. And if they're able to do so, they'll have a lot more tools to fight in the 5v5, I feel.
Yeah, we'll see. So just I know you guys are dying to go in game right now, so we are waiting as well eagerly to go ahead with that. But just a recap for about what this means for the teams here. Today's games have more than just bragging rights written all over it, right? It is do or die for Akuma Blades and E7 Seraphs. They are tied in the groups with their overall 2 wins and 2 losses. For those who do find it up today, will be seated in the top 4. Which team will differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack? We'll find out after shortly. Game number 1 underway. I'm going to toss it over to a break. We'll be right back with the games. And welcome everybody. That was a long break, Miles. Some stuff
Yeah,
happened. Some stuff happened that I think we
30
should maybe
seconds
bring it
until
up
minions
here for people to
spawn.
know.
yeah. Oh wait,
Yeah.
do I have to bring it up or will you do it?
I mean,
We didn't
I'll go. I'll
discuss
go.
this.
We didn't discuss arguments, but I'll be the one to say it. Since Hexmas was kind of late here, the regulation state there's an X amount of minutes that you could be
Yeah,
late to the
15
game when
minutes.
everybody else in the lobby. Yeah.
15
So
minutes.
inadvertently they ended up losing the first game by default. So this right now that they're playing is the second game with the same draft that were picked
Minions
before
have
on your
spawned.
screens that we saw. So essentially the scoreline is E7S are 1-0 in the series. So they're
Yeah,
just literally one win away from securing a spot in the playoffs.
yeah, securing that higher seeding, and we'll see. We'll see if they're gonna be able to do it, or if Akuma will be able to fight. Will be able to fight back and bring the series to a 1-1. It's just, it's so ironic proof that either way, we're just gonna be casting 2 games,
Yeah,
and not
no, that
three.
has has been our trademark ever
Yeah.
since the start of week one. It was been only 2 games on the stream. There has been games that go to 3 games. Like,
Oh
oh,
no,
speaking of that, though, Cheese went wrong. Ratchet tries to
that
throw
was
out the dredge line, does not connect.
yeah, that was a very big mistake on Ratchet's part. The fact he did not connect means that he just loses a bunch of HP without getting much in return. He tried to go for a bit more to try and get the stun off, but in the end, it's just Yongjae and Meowing Cat able to just able to win out on that level 1. And because of that, the lane might just go in their favor, pushing towards them and allowing Hecarim some leeway to go into the enemy jungle.
Enemy jungle. They're not here, though. Ratchet now
Level 2.
taking a little bit low. The
You're going
dredge
for it.
line does this time around connect. Meowcat has to
Oh,
flash. Good rocket jump comes in. Keyboarder wants to go
even
in.
more.
Second rocket jump proc
Oh.
goes all the way through. Finishes that one with the first blood off to a great start here. 1-0 for Akuma.
Really good counter engage by Akuma there in the bot lane. Ratchet and Keyboarder, knowing their limits, they managed to hit level 2 as well. And Keyboarder just found the right target, jumped in onto Meowing Cat, goes down, loses both summoners as well. So now a bit of a vulnerable bot lane we have here for the side of E7S. And we'll see how they're going to be able to play around that disadvantage in a few. Hecarim did decide to go back, but he's going to be going down to the bot side of his jungle right now. But that also means that Xin Xiao has a bit of free time over on the Rift while he's a bit ahead right now.
Xin Zhao has more pressure, right? But this Hecarim Ham decided to go for his blue side this time around. Xin Zhao did not decide to go back. Instead, he's just going the whole mile without any breaks. So we might see level 3 gank from him pretty soon in mid lane. Obviously, lose to improve is on the Veigar and is a target for any jungle player. And you could see the support and the jungler are making their way there for Akuma.
They're going for it right
really
now.
gonna go for
They
it. St.
flashed.
Patrick's Day. Skin lose to improve will burn the flash to stay alive there. So they're just taxing the Veigar here a little bit in the early game to make him play safer.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in the early game, right? Hexmith and Ratchet will definitely 100% be ganking mid lane together. There's no way they're gonna let the Veigar alone to just farm freely. Even especially since it's just Caitlyn. Is sorry, not Caitlyn, the Karma rather. And in that case, oh wait, Ratchet though, he finds himself between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, Ratchet, you gotta be careful here.
Oh no.
Everybody's gonna collapse on a dredge line to get out is good. The Gorse is burned from Ham. Ham's going in. The Ben's going out, and Ratchet might be dead here. Yes, he will go down. Ham with a trade kill 1-1. E7S are equalizing the scoreline. They're back in the game through Ham.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Although I feel like that was more of Ratchet making a wrong decision right there, deciding to stick around his team, as Ham might be in a bit of trouble. Tanimo's here. Oh!
Yeah, Ham gets knocked up there by Hexmas, and now Tanimo on the roam bot is in the topside river. 1v3 Langle for him. He has to flash away, but look, go James around the corner. Knockup is good. Tanimo still safe. Flash win becomes lighting. Hexmas with the wombo combo.
That's some good play by Hexman. Not the most complicated combo to do, but nice to see nonetheless that he did it super cleanly. Getting the kill, and Akuma, we said that E7S managed to close up the gap, but then Akuma just widened it yet again.
Yep, he just made it. He just made it happen. Yet another time here. So we'll see what we got. You know, going back and forth here, Miles. What do we think about the comps in general
Wait,
and
wait
their
a
win comps?
second.
But speaking of that, though, yeah, mid lane, AKM, Faluke, movement speed is not enough. Maybe here comes Hexmas with the
Uh-oh. Oh
retaliation.
no. Oh
He
no.
knocks him up. Ham is history. He's neutralized there in the mid lane. Hex missed. Talking about the jungle matchup, Hex Miss is so ahead of this Hector so far.
Look, man, in a lot of trouble. Oh my gosh! Did you just get to level 6 in time?
I believe so. Yeah. Hit level 6 right on that gank.
That's such bad timing for young Jay and Meowing Cat. That's so unfortunate. So, X Fluke, despite them trying to punish his overextensions again and again, he just managed to get away with it. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, look who's benefiting is Tristana getting solo gold onto herself from the turret plates. And so, Akuma, they're just winning across the board right now here in this early game.
Yeah, Kuma threw their jungler, right? So they're doing a good job rotating Hex Miss where he's needed that opportunity in the mid lane, right? Nobody was expecting Hex Miss to be there, especially Ham. Ham wasn't expecting Hex Miss would be like, okay, let me just get that kill. They just wanted to make a play happen on AKM X Fluke. Just ended up backfiring at them.
Here's the trap. They're doing it again.
It's the second time. Not gonna happen. But
oh wait,
let's connect on the turret. It's a tower shot from Ratchet. Gonna force out Meow and Cat to flash
what?
away, but a keyboarder goes aggressively in. I don't know about that play. Akuma lose their bot lane duo here.
No.
And a huge blunder. What a colossal failure there. But Hex Miss may be able to make up the play here over the top side. Tanimo with him. Maybe they're gonna go 2v2 here. But that is Ham down.
Shields.
He is neutralized. He dies in a
Shields.
gunfight. X-Fluke just goes down to the ult from Loose to Improve. Loose to Improve doesn't have the event horizon just yet, so that's going to allow the enemy team to collapse onto the Cho'Gath. Tanimo is going to be history here. 50 CS, but 0-2 on this Cho'Gath. And for now, though, Akuma do make a play happen despite losing their bot lane duo on the bot lane.
Yeah, they're at least able to equalize that, but still, that gotta hurt for Keyboarder and Ratchet down there in the bot lane. Even though they have that, they had such a big advantage for themselves with regards to tempo. Then unfortunately threw it away with a wild play down in the bot lane where Keyboarder just went in too deep, and he didn't have his ultimate to finish things off yet. And I think he accidentally misclicked on the minion as well, if I remember correctly saying that. So.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think he did so. If we had a replay, we could check, but I'm pretty sure that he misclicked on a minion while auto-attacking.
And maybe we'll see it in the files there later on. It's interesting to note that Hex Miss, despite being this ahead, hasn't hit the level 6 before Ham. That just means that Ham is keeping up with the camps, keeping up with the farm. AKM Fluke do spot him with the blue ward over on the Raptors. He's going to get engaged on maybe here. He has to really watch out. Faluke has that movement speed with Blast Cone is going to be enough for Ham to get out, but who's on the other side? They found him, they root him up, and Ham with the onslaught of the shadows goes inside the pit. We'll be safe and secure for now, so no play to be had after that.
That should be a dragon, but he's able to heal up with the fruit, so should be no problem as Lucid Improve.
Ooh.
You do not want to be solo killed by a Karma, man. You do not want to be solo killed by a Karma. That's the last thing you want to see happen. A support mid laner solo killing you. Maybe back when Lulu was more of an assassin, had the damage to be an assassin, but definitely not nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind of a blunder if you let that happen, right? They're only there to be the secondary support for the team, not the mid lane carry. But in other instances, in the bot lane, a lot of plates for the taking, at least for Akuma.
Yeah.
Despite losing the bot lane 2v2 by making mistakes, they have a lot of pressure cooking up here, and now Hexmas is going to join them there. Maybe they'll make a play happen.
Dynamo has to be careful. I think the feast was taken, so a good game can just burst people down as this turret just gonna go down, and they're gonna give every single piece of gold except for what's going to the junglers over to Keyboarder onto Tristana, who's just on the smooth item curve right now and growing really nicely into that really big hyper carry threat.
Yeah, the hyper carry threat we talked about, right? The downside of the Jhin is mobility, but now in day and age, in this meta right now, especially 12.5, we're seeing a lot of hyper carry champions. Tristana is one of them, and I feel like is one of my favorite picks going into this, going into the playoffs as well. We might expect
Mm,
to see a lot more of this Tristana. Not only it's good in laning phase sometimes, right, if you don't make mistakes, but
mm.
also it's good for sieging. And sieging is everything, especially if you're trying to snowball, if you're trying to crack open turrets. At least getting more vision down, invading jungle, turrets will go a long way.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, the bot lane. I mean, when it comes to the siege, right, there's not really much in the way of wave clear for the side of Akuma. They'll at least have Tristana to make sure that they're pounding away on the turrets for them. Because on the other side, they have a lot of ways to clear the wave, especially just because of Lose to Improve on his Veigar.
Yeah, lose to improve, running the Predator build for the Veigar.
I think he
So,
expected more skirmishes. Yeah.
yeah, we might expect some collab. I mean, everybody's so fast on the other side. Akuma, it's hard to chase them down. Everybody has kind of like a gap closer or disengage tool besides Hexmist. Hexmist, once he's like doubling down on a fight and he already has popped his ult, it's nowhere out, right? So
Yeah.
um, he's like one
Oh, wait.
way in, no way out. Ham here over on the Raptors, he's invading. Again, devastating charge, popping the ghost there to stay alive. So he's paying hefty prices just to go take a couple of camps away from
Yeah,
Hexmist.
he used his onslaught of shadows as well to just try to farm up as quickly as he can because he knew he gotten spotted. Right now, Akuma, they're gonna take advantage of that. Lion Cat.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go in. Meow and Cat going to get knocked up by that
Oh,
multi. Ratchet now in the event horizon with AKM Fluke. But Yongjae can't do anything there. Ooh, almost gets knocked up there, rooted. But we'll get away because that's what Zeri is good at.
Yeah, the dash was already activated, so couldn't get out in that regard. The hook goes wide from Ratchet, so things go back pretty much into Akuma's favor as it feels like Ham's just struggling to have an impact throughout this early game.
We were talking about that before the game started, right? This Ham versus Hexmas matchup.
Oh, wait,
Speaking of that,
Hexmas?
though, we might have Hexmas getting caught out this time around. It's always been this Hecarim, but now, actually, Hexmas pops the ultimate. Let's see if he's able to get away with Flash down as well. He engages
Hex
on
is so
Loose to
low.
Improve this time around. Hex still is low. And Loose to Improve has the ulti already burning.
Oh.
That Feast will do the job.
Oh, no.
Dynamo finds the kill. Event Horizon to trap
Reverse it.
in and lock in Keyboarder. But Keyboarder will flash away.
No
Ham
more.
goes in. Doesn't have Onslaught of the
Oh, no.
Shadows. Oh, he goes down. But finally, he's traded Meowing Cat under a lot of heat, a lot of fire back against the wall. And we'll just go down. Ratchet with the outplay there against the support.
Leaving him to die by the minions. That's probably the most embarrassing way to die. But what an interesting series of events with Hexmix getting caught out. Ratchet was way too low to be able to help out. It's a good thing Keyboarder was there to try and push them away, but even then, wasn't able to get away. At least it wasn't even. That fight ended up being an even trade between those two teams. But I feel like Akuma are making mistakes that they shouldn't be doing. Like their timing is a bit off when it comes to going for these invades because the rest of the team is on the map. It's not like you saw any of them go back towards the base. It was a really dangerous play, and Hexmix had to pay his life for it. He had to pay his ADC's life for it. So has to be a bit more careful in that regard.
Speaking of having to be a bit more careful, Ratchet is spotted here. Yes, he has the pink ward down, but don't disrespect the event horizon, especially Primordial Burst. It could just take you out in an instant, blink of an eye. So that's the power of the Veigar, especially.
And how many stacks he has.
He doesn't have many stacks, but he hasn't
he doesn't.
died yet, so that's good news. in
That's
the early
definitely
game.
good news. Definitely. So 141 stacks on the Veigar, not completely super threatening yet. Ratchet can still decide to tank his ultimate if he wants to, as Legoat James getting such a big advantage here in this top lane. I think Dynamo's attention was just put towards the jungle where Hexmas kept invading, and it's just Legoat James quietly getting stronger and stronger on the Silas. We haven't seen too much from him just yet, but I'm sure he's gonna start exploding soon when it comes to those big team fights that are sure to come.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Ham, with the help of Meowing Cat over to the top side here on the Gromp. Legoat James does definitely spot them out. And the rest of the team, though, on the side of E7S, are doing the Rift Herald. So that's an objective for them, at least in the beginning of this game, as they had nothing. It's been a drought for them. So this Rift Herald will go a long way, at least helping them secure some turrets around the map. But Hexmist is doing kind of the symmetrical play over the bot side, knowing that they're at the top side. He's just like, let me just secure another Drake here. Nice.
Another turret. There's another turret going down to the Tristana as well, which is a big influx of gold, especially since it is the inner turret for the enemy. And if they're able, and Tristana is going to continue to get stronger and stronger, something that really E7S has to really watch out for. The rest of the team, that's what you're supposed to do, right? It's just fundamental League of Legends going from Akuma. The enemy team makes a play towards the top side of the map. All right, you go towards the other side of the map and take the objective there.
Trading objectives so far, but you know, you cannot go wrong with a couple of Drakes, especially early on. It puts you at a good spot. That's a great dredge line, taking that opportunity in. Hostile. That all comes through from Renata, turning things around. That's a huge shutdown, loose to improve. And that's the beauty of that ulti, right? Hostile takeover. This makes you attack your friends.
Yeah, got the hook onto Tristana before he could jump out as well. So really well played by Meowing Cat on this Renata, using her kit's advantage to get two couple of overextended bot laners on the map as well. The Goat James has got a solo kill.
Oh, that is really good right there. The Goat James with a solo kill though. Their mid lane is falling apart. That turret, both of them back to back. They have to say goodbye, but they are going for more here. Loose to improve has to be careful. He's getting slowed down, but the wind becomes lighting. Now engaged on with the E to close out the event horizon. Oh, that is a great fear. Outside of the shadows, finds 3 there.
Oh,
and
no.
overextending,
Akuma.
They're just paying off. I mean, oh my, that's just a blunder after another. Why would you want to go in with man disadvantage like that? Especially when Am had the ult up, especially when Loose to Improve has that event horizon. We're talking about that, right? They're good at engaging, also kiting away, it seems.
Yeah, Akuma are looking, the game is starting to slip out of their hands if they keep making plays like that, unfortunately. As I said, overextension after overextension is just a big blunder by them to try and go for that fight. I mean, sure, Renata does not have her ultimate. Sure, she used basically her entire rotation to try and get Ratchet and Keyboarder, but just because the support doesn't have their ultimates doesn't mean, along with the Veigar, doesn't mean that, you know, you can just go fight them, because Veigar can still kite you down. And Youngjae on this Zeri is happy to do so as well. 504 on the champion. Didn't talk about him much, but he's showing up right now.
Let's see what else. I mean, Ratchet is also been doing some cheesy plays here and there. Sometimes paying up, sometimes not paying up. So it's that risk that you take at the end of the day. Miles, what's the cheesiest play that you've seen in League?
I mean, at this stage in the game,
In a 5v5 or anything like that.
I think the grand final Cloud9 thing, Cloud9 did last year in spring. Wait, there's a fight.
Oh, here comes hostile takeover, but only finding one. Lego James from the flank with Fluke. They're closing in on the choke point here. Loose to improve is kind of far away. Ham. To be helped with from this Veigar, but not much they could do about that. With that said, though, the man advantage, Akuma, are going to be going for more, but they have to be careful. They don't have a lot of vision here. Pink Ward is in advantage, or in favor of Seraph, E7 Seraph. But guess what? That's another cheesy play. Yeah, Tanimo is going to get zoned out. Meanwhile, the Nautilus zoning out the back line here. Tanimo, the shield comes through. The Event Horizon to zone out Hexmech and Fluke. But no kills for the taking yet for E7S. And this time around, Akuma do find back-to-back kills. Translated into more aggression, more macro advantage around the map.
Yep, definitely a good play using that blast gun to isolate the target. As you called out during that fight, really well played by Akuma. It's kind of frustrating, honestly, seeing Akuma like right on some shadows.
They just have the advantage they might be giving them back, but look at the retaliation, look at the damage coming through. Keyboarder is fully online, goes for more, thirsty for more. Lego James, the huge flank coming in with outside of the shadows. Gonna zone out Youngjae and Ham here on the 1v2. Ham has to go over the wall here just for a little bit of room to breathe. But Lego James, the champs comes back, flashes for the W and picks up the kill.
Oh my gosh, these two teams. Just when I think the action comes to an end, they keep going at it again and again. And this time Akuma's the one that comes out on top. And that's what's really frustrating me about Akuma right now. For every good play they make a blunder. It feels that way right now. Or if you're the glass half full kind of guy, for every blunder they make up for it with another good play after. So
yeah, I mean, Ham also it was good for Ham to go for that kill onto Hexmas. He was definitely caught out there, but I don't even know how Akuma managed to turn that one around.
Karma,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a karma, man.
owning up to the name Karma.
I don't know what ES7. Oh my god.
Oh, absolutely deleted there. That's a burst power from the Veigar. But speaking of burst, James go to the back line. He doesn't have enough heal to stand himself there in the front. But Event Horizon catches the Nautilus. He's down as well. Hexmas now pops the ultimate, goes back in. He is outnumbered, outclassed, outmastered. And Ham finds footing back into the game. That's easy Baron pickup, at least. Assuming they're going to pick up the Baron, because Tristana is still online, right? The keyboarder maybe could go for a cheeky play, but that's unlikely.
There's no way he decides to go for this in games left. I think Keyboarder would just be more happy to spend his time farming, getting stronger, making sure he has the items for the damage. But yeah, that one was a good heads-up play this time by E7S. They're able to get the advantage by just bursting. Listen, if the problem is Fluke shielding his opponents, just get rid of Fluke. Easy.
Yeah.
Zeus to improve, did a good job managing to catch him out. And once Fluke got stunned up, just ultimate from the Veigar, who's getting to be really strong right now. 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. Rabadon's completed. So lose to improve is absolutely humongous right now.
Yeah. You have to be careful, right, from the Veigar. The primordial burst here, underestimating, it could cost you your life. You saw AKMX Fluke, despite having that movement speed, despite having the ability to get away from team fights and sticky situations, they end up just dying there with everybody besides Keyboarder. Keyboarder did a good job staying alive. At the end of the day, Tristana does have that rocket jump to get away from attacks and, you know, be that self-build champion that we always like seeing on ADCs, like we're seeing here on the side of Yongjae on this area as well. There shouldn't have a lot of deaths in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it depends, right, how you see Tristana. If you see Tristana as a super aggressive AD carry, then you may end up seeing a lot of deaths by Tristana anyway. And Keyboarder, he's threading the needle. He's in between having a lot of deaths and being able to pull off many plays. Thankfully for the side of Akuma though, Keyboarder is on a steady curve, gets stronger and stronger. Once he gets high enough level, once he gets enough items, he will absolutely destroy the enemy team from range if he can. But right now, it's a bit of an advantage in the side of E7S's favor, because as we said, they just have the better 5v5 comp if they're able to get the jump on the enemy team.
Yeah, you know, and despite the first game, you know, just the unfortunate way for Akuma to lose that one, as one of their players was late. They don't want to be at a situation like this, staring at the clock and the timer's taken away. You know, this Veigar is getting beefier and beefier. Time is running out. Keyboarder feels the pressure. The people on that side, especially Hexmist, did carry them a lot here for Akuma in the beginning of the game, but I don't think he has a lot left to do. This besides maybe securing the Baron here, the next one that spawns, and in a couple of minutes, in 2 minutes, we're going to see the Ocean. So they're going to be one Drake away from securing the Ocean, and Hexmix needs to be on that, because as we know, Xin Zhao tends to fall during late game, and lose to improve. He's going to keep on scaling.
Yeah, the lose to improve definitely will just get stronger and stronger. But at least, you know, it's not impossible for Akuma to win a late game fight. They do still have Keyboarder or Tristana, who is a hyper carry herself and has really, really good scaling. So if they manage to prop up Keyboarder, you know, set up the good foundation for him to just pop off and do what he can do best on the Tristana pick, then there's definitely a chance for Akuma to pick things up. But yeah, the timer is ticking. Tick, 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 on whether Akuma will be able to survive against ES7's late game team fight, which is really, really good. The disruption's amazing. Cho'Gath's getting beefier and beefier. He's getting bigger and bigger as well. And I think it's up to Akuma to make a play right now for the Ocean Dragon. It'll definitely be up to them to make a fight happen or to catch someone out. They definitely have the tools to be able to do it.
Oh, speaking of tools, they're going to go in pretty fast. Have that movement speed, bonus speed. But it's an awkward ankle for them. They're going to get re-engaged on. That's a stun. The root Meowcat going to go down. But Zeri putting a lot of damage here, making those HP bars look like nothing. Ratchet goes in as well, biting the dust. And the flash, not good for the Cho'Gath, as he was just inches away from landing the QX. Fluke, are you going to be able to get away with this? Yes. but they lose so many players. That's a 2-for-1. Not the worst case scenario for Akuma, but they definitely lose their tankier frontliners. Look, James goes down, Ratchet as well, and now Hexma is zoned out in the horizon. Gonna get knocked up. He just goes down. Yeah, this could be ES7 win here, as they do have that Baron buff minions, but now, not Baron buff minions, they do the minions at least, taking that inhibitor. Winions are not yet here. Oh, that's another event horizon. Flukes has to flash away.
Oh, he's
but
dead.
The kill still gonna go for this Veigar. Veigar's on a roll. Sensational performance. Yet another event horizon back to back. Are you kidding me here? Look out, James trying to do anything possible to make this game salvageable, but at the end of the day, they cannot do it. Keyboarder gonna with rocket jump away for safety, respecting damage coming on from Youngjae. Youngjae 7-0-12, perfect KDA on this Zeri.
Absolutely massive from both the mid laner and the ADC of ES7. They're absolutely doing what they can to make sure that Akuma is getting hit with the final nail in the coffin here, as this time they're going to be able to get their first Ocean Drake. And if they manage this, I feel like the game won't last until then, but if they manage to stack 4, my gosh, I think it's impossible for Akuma to come back into this. But well, this time Akuma was the one that tried to respond to the play, but it's just during that big team fight in the mid lane, the GOAT James died immediately. He just got bursted down completely before they could even kill Meowing Cat. And Meowing Cat got completely stunned up, and she's a support. Doesn't have too many items either, as looks like it's gonna be a sneaky play coming from Akuma this time.
Yeah, Akuma need this sort of sneaky play. I don't think they know the rest of the members are from the side of ES7, but that is just one down. They're doing good. That's the pink comp coming fully online. Zeri, the carry, cannot get away with him with Lightning Crash. Not enough to sustain that. So that's back-to-back finds for Akuma. They just needed something here before the Baron spawn in 20 seconds. Maybe they'll take this one away and alleviate some of the pressure, some of the problems they've been having this game. And Ham, however, he is fully alive, full HP, and smite up in just a second. So that's a 50-50 Baron if Akuma wanted to go for it.
Karma had to go back. He can't let the minions decide to just destroy the Nexus turrets, but they're gonna go for it regardless. 4v3. Now got on their way.
So 4v3. Langle, XAM Faluk is not here as well, so they don't have that Karma for the engage. He does have TP now. He's TPing in. Baron almost half HP down. Ratchet, the red line in front. Here comes outside of the shadows inside the pit. Are you able to secure Tristana? Takes that out of all the champions. Surprising turn of events there. And not much else happens. So kudos for Akuma, especially if Keyboarder securing that, but Meow and Cat looking for the ring edge. That's their pullback is good. Ratchet now under a lot of fire, headed for the rocks here, and just crashes like that. Meow and Cat, let's talk a little about the Renata pick here. The hostile takeover, right? Sending out a wave of chemicals for the enemies. They turn against each other. Yeah. You know, it's the ideal anti-dive, anti-catch comp, like when you think about it.
I think Meow and Cat, at first I thought this Renata pick was absolutely in, especially after what happened with Keyboarder and Ratchet getting such a big advantage. Meowing Cat and Youngjae just able to, you know, even despite the disadvantaged positions, when they were just ready to punish every single time Ratchet and Keyboarder made a mistake. And now they're at this point where Renata's doing a bunch of damage herself, making sure that, as you said, the anti-dive, anti-catch support right now, where they can basically just send anyone trying to dive the ADC or her carries away, and lose to improve, and Youngjae just happy to sit back and fire away.
Yeah, and you know that cheesy play, yes, it did pay off for Akuma, but the question is, are they able to secure the soul here under 2 minutes? They had an opportunity last time around. They could have. So this is a lot on the line right now. Do they want to walk up on the 5v5s, contest that, or do they just want to send Hexmix for that 50-50 smite fight? I mean, we just are able to tell that. Speaking of cheesy plays, though, Miles, the other day, you know, the cheesiest thing that I ever seen happen was like the enemy typed in alt chat, press F to dance. And this freaking Yasuo on my team did it, and he just flashed in the mid lane, and everybody question marked, and I was like, dude, of course it happened to a Yasuo player, of course, out of all the players. My God.
Hey, that's just called psychological warfare. Not banned by League TOS, so absolutely fine to do that. That's so unfortunate. I was when you asked me about it, I was thinking about the cheesiest play I've seen like in organized 5v5. And
Uh-huh.
what immediately
Yeah.
came to mind was like during the LCS last spring split, where wait, are they just gonna give this away
I don't know, man. At
or
this point,
the
it's it.
positioning? Okay,
Well, maybe they're going up right now. They're walking. They're just gonna get spotted. They're slow on the uptake here. Cho'Gath takes like 5 years to get wherever he wants to get. He's the
positioning
size
now.
of the Nexus.
Yeah, positioning now is in favor of the side of Akuma. But if they decide to go for an objective and take too long, this E7S could just decide to go straight down mid and just break open the Nexus that way.
Yeah. They have the Baron here from Akuma, so why not just put it to good use? Don't rush the take on the Soul yet. You got 20 seconds on the clock. Just make sure you got your lanes pushing in. Use that Baron to the full extent. But
Are they going
speaking
for
of
more?
that, they left. They found. Oh, they almost find Ratchet. The knockup is good. The Cho'Gath is unstoppable, but here comes the Go James from all the way back line, outside of the shadows, zoning them out. Meowing Cat is not healthy to be in the fight anymore. Ratchet is tanking a lot of that damage. Veigar finds one. He's still alive. AXM Keyboarder is online as well. The edge line to re-engage. Gonna force out the flash for the Veigar. Back around in the back line is finding kills. As long as the Veigar is staying alive, he's at 7. They're finding the kills. Hexmith goes golden. With his last dying breath, we'll say goodbye as Akuma might even be out of playoff contention here.
Yeah, there we go. That could be it right then and there. Young Jay and Lose to Improve absolutely went massive during that last team fight. All they have to do is direct the minion sound. The death timers are way too long. It looks like Akuma. It's unfortunate, but they're gonna end up losing this series. Even though there were several times when they definitely had the game in their hands, but unfortunately threw it away when they had the advantage. And now E7S are just gonna take that win and take it over to the playoffs.
Oh, what an engage that was. Just to make the call if you are ES7 there, right? You got the movement speed there by Meowing Cat, and throughout the whole time we saw Australia's battle song come in clutch on their engages. Yes, they don't have the movement speed that the Karma has, provides the allies, but they have that item. So, essentially the same thing. And there it is. The first game, unfortunate, one of their players on the side of Akuma couldn't make it on time, so ended up losing
Yeah,
that one by default. And now losing the game like this, it was a very close one, right? There's
it's
no
gotta
doubt in my
sting.
mind that if we saw a second game, it would have been very, very close like this. But it just got to stink, kind of. But at the end of the day, rules are rules. That's why we have regulations and things that plays here in RA, so that things like that are avoided, things like that are punished. And unfortunately for Akuma, the timing of it is just unfortunate. But better luck next time, as there's a lot to improve on and there's a lot to gain from this game. They were just super close. We didn't see Miles Hexmith's all-time best champion Gwen, as it did get brutalized
Yeah,
in.
it did get banned,
Yeah, it did get
unfortunately.
now has now been the lowest rate in platinum division and above, following the changes made to the champion. So, um, feels bad. I feel like that would have been a different story, but Hexmas did try his best here. You could tell everybody on this side of Akuma tried their best. It was just wasn't enough. Positioning was everything at the end of the day. So good job from E7 Seraphs to come out on top.
Yeah, really good job by them. I think it just honestly, it was just them taking advantage of Akuma's mistakes, who just went in a bit too ham, forgive the pun, several times throughout the
Oh, that's
entire
fun.
game. It was just frustrating to see, honestly. As I said, for every good play Akuma made, they would end up making a
Mhm.
blunder after. And because of that, when you have like a team comp that focuses on wanting to snowball, focuses on wanting to get that early game right and mid game right as well, you can't afford to make those mistakes if you opt into
Mhm.
that team comp. So it's just uh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully Akuma can improve for next time. That's all. That's I think that's the best thing we can say.
Yeah, hopefully, right? And then, it's not the end of the journey yet. Obviously, there's a possibility for the loser to still make it to playoffs. I think it just depends on another team winning their game. So we're going to watch closely as those events transpire in the next coming weeks. But with that said, that's going to be it on our side. Next week is actually playoffs, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Miles, maybe we'll be able to finally cast games that go actually to 3 games and not
I'm
just
telling you,
one or
we're jinxing it.
two
We're
or
gonna
less.
get we're gonna get all
Ah.
5 games every single every single
Oh
cast.
man, imagine. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind
Anything.
either. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that was fun here on our side. My name is Proof of Proofcast. It was my pleasure here, joined with Miles at Miles David 17. Anything you want to add here before we say goodbye?
Good luck to the teams that make it to playoff. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yep. Congrats to the teams, especially this week, right? This was the first game that we saw. So there's other teams that are playing right now. So good luck to you guys.
Mm.
Hope to hear from you next week. And for those who got channel points, good job. Just tune in next week, this same time on Monday at 8 EST. See you guys then. Peace out.